Right, so, well, this is what it looks like in general. I mean, this pattern. This was our client that's using the whole thing. In our example, we have the receiver. That was the light bulb, which is turning on and off. There is an action that was the turn on action. And we had a command, and the concrete command was the light bulb on command that we implemented from here. And the invoker was, I forgot. What was the invoker?
Later.
The single button command, wasn't it? So this is how it looks like. So, and then of course we have a different one. That was the first one was the single button command. That was only one button, so it was easy. But if we have multiple buttons, then that's different. We have all these buttons, and we can assign these commands to these buttons. We will be keeping the whole button list in an array, for example, and then we will be programming all of them by assigning them some functions. And then we have an undo button here. I don't know, maybe we can talk about it, how we can do the undo button. So, well, all of them will be implementing this. In this one, it has an execute and it has an undo button as well. So you have to do, for all of these, how to execute and how to undo what you have done. And then you have maybe, well, this one you can do it in any way that you want. There is these on commands, off commands. You can do it any way that you want to do. So this is our remote controller. This was previously, it was the single button controller. Now it is the remote button controller. So then you are able to have several lists, several commands, and then you are able to change them in the runtime. And also, if you have some new functionality, a new object, a new device coming in, without changing the existing code, you can of course write some new code and make it work with the existing structure. So this is how it works. Is there any question about the undo is just like, you know, when you do the execution, you do the undo. With the undo, what you do is you describe what is the reverse of what you're doing. If it is the light off, then it is the light on type of a thing that you have to be doing when you're undoing, or maybe other things that you have to do. Then setting some parameters, you are undoing that as well. Okay, fine. So that is our command pattern. It is not really that widely used in my opinion. Just like, you know, strategy and maybe decorator or factory that we've already seen, they are more widely used. And now we're going to move on to something which is more widely used. Oh, that was okay. That was the waiter application. for the pattern, that example. So, you know, this is the list, maybe the menu. These are the orders, the waiter, order commands. So that shouldn't be on button, but it should be, you know, I just copied it, so this is not correct. Of course, you don't push the buttons of the waiter, but you tell him to take the order and, you know, that kind of stuff. So, anyway, okay. So, of course, the most famous and the most obvious example of a pattern is adapter. I think this is very obvious, and when a pattern really makes sense is that when you cannot think that solution as a little bit of experience, if you're not able to think about the solution, and then when you are reading, for example, the decorator, is not that easy. I mean, that is probably not the first thing that comes to your mind. Then it is valuable. But with this adapter, it is, of course, one of the first things that would come to your mind. That is that you have an existing system, you have some vendor classes, and they don't work together. So what you do is that instead of changing this, you add new code to make this to work with this. So this is the classical adapter. And there is, you know, it is very obvious that anyone can think about that. But just to, I have this adapter, I have a client, and I have an adaptee. So I want this to be used with this. So I write this one. So this one is talking to this through this request is coming here, and there is a translated request is going to the adaptee. So that's simple. And how it looks like this. So I have a client, I have this adapter, it's implementing this interface. So, well, you can implement it in any way that you want. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that, but one example is maybe I have a register system, and a new ERP system came in, that's an SAP, for example, and it wasn't working with my system. So what I do is that I write an adapter. So when my make payment command comes in, it comes to my SAP accounting adapter, and then my SAP accounting adapter is talking to the SAP system. So basically this is how it's working. So as I said, this is very easy, but it's one of the, it was on the list, and it was very quick to talk about it. So I did, finished. And the next one is also like this one, very simple. It's called the facade design pattern, very simple again. And well, it's one of those that, oh, I could have, you remember the Vision Tele? It was just like that, I thought about this, When he sees the TV, he says, yeah, I was just about to make it, so that's it. So, for example, I have many things going on in my home theater system. Turn on the TV, I have to, set the tuner, put the DVD on, and turn the lights off, and maybe bring down the screen, and all of them, is one thing that I'm doing. That when I go there and I want to watch TV, that I have to do all of these things, and in order to take care of all of them, I'm having a facade, another layer, which is taking care of everything else. Like, I have a set of commands that I have to do repeatedly, and it involves many other objects to be invoked, call their several methods, set them up. Then I'm writing another layer which is doing all of that work for me. So that is the home theater facade. So I want to watch movie, end movie, listen to CD. So all of them, when I call one of those methods, it's taking care of all the objects inside it. That not inside it, but is responsible for. So this is obvious. Like this is very easy. But this is not very obvious. You wouldn't think about that. This is not that easy, definitely. This is called the composite pattern, and it's one of those things that you remembered I told you about Kierkegaard. It's one of those things. It's a self. Do you remember that? The self is a relation that relates itself to itself. So, that's one of them. We talked about this in Decorator, I guess. It's somehow a little bit similar to Decorator. So, well, I have two shops, neighbors. They decided to merge. One of them was doing lahmacun, the other one is doing Adana kebab type of things, So the one has a oven. Do they call it oven? Like they cook it? Yeah. I mean, the big ones. So the other one is doing Adana and Döner. So it doesn't have that capability. So they decided to merge. The problem is with the menus. Both has some menus, some menu items, but they had been keeping those menu items differently. One is keeping them as what is this? Oh, well, this is the menu item. So one of them is keeping it as an array list, the other one was keeping it, they are so sophisticated that they wrote the menu items in Java, and one of them wrote it in different collection types they have. It's the same menu item, but so it's a funny story. They went to the shop, that's the object shop, and they bought menu items, but they implemented these menu items differently. One of them used the array list, the other one used I don't know what, something else. We will see. So, well, there's an incompatibility. They want to be able to join both things and use it together. And the other problem is this. So of course, the lahmacun menu, I don't know what you have in the lahmacun menu, but maybe you have Karadeniz pide with cheese and with whatever. You have all these items, and you have the other place that is what you have. You have I called it Adana menu. So it has Döner, or Adana, Urfa, and other things. And it is still a discussion. You know what is the difference between Adana and Urfa? Anyone who doesn't know? Okay, good, because it is still a discussion among the waiter and the client. So I'm also here to I talked to the Association of Kebab Waiters. They told me that I have to inform you that Adana is spicy, Urfa is exactly the same but not spicy. But there are still people who are asking it to the waiters, and they ask me, ask my help to educate the people. I see that you already know that, but believe me, I still see that, when I go to a restaurant, I still see that I don't know, a guy or a lady says, okay, what is the difference between Adana and Urfa? Come on, everybody knows that. Adana is spicy, Urfa is not. It's exactly the same thing. Oh, can I have an Adana without spice? That's Urfa. No, I don't want Urfa. Yeah, but ma'am, it is exactly the same. Only the name. One is with spice, the other one is, not hot. I see that. I mean, people are asking, I want Adana, but not spicy. The waiters are going crazy. It is so. Well, back to our stuff. So, what we also want is to be able to, when we have this, this is now our menu. So normally these guys were, when somebody was asking for, please tell us what is in the menu, they were going like, okay, iterating it one by one, or maybe print out that they were printing it out. But now it is becoming difficult. So they don't want to go and print this one out and print that one out. They want a more sophisticated solution. When they say menu, print the menu, so it will go like, it will go from here, and then we'll go here, and then we'll finish. And maybe there is another section here, like desserts. Yeah, it will also be, when this is finished, it will come here, and it will finish all that as well. So I have two problems. One problem is that they had been keeping their arrays differently. One was keeping it maybe in array list, the other one was a different collection type. But they want to be able to iterate them with the same iterator, or with a common iterator that, like, they need a super type of an iterator to be able to deal with both cases. But the bigger problem is, or maybe the more difficult problem is this, that can I have an iterator that I have some branches and I have some leaves. The branch is a branch and it has leaves on it, yeah? On a tree, you have a branch and you have some leaves. These are the leaves. It's not a good description, but it's funny. So I have a tree, so it goes on like this, and I have this branch, but the problem is that I have another branch connecting to this branch. Well, when I'm having some leaves here, I have also another branch with its own leaves. So it is the same problem. I have some leaves. You know what a leaf is, right? Leaf. I have some leaves here, and they are connected to a menu. But this can also, I can also have I don't know, maybe I have a pide here, but this is not a menu item. This is a menu itself. So it has a cheese pide, it has meat pide, and maybe there are some other things underneath. So they want the flexibility that instead of a menu item in a menu, instead of a menu item, I can be able to put a menu. So you go, there are menu items, and then next there's a menu. So under that menu there are some menu items, and then there may be again a menu. So you know how to deal with that, do you? So that part is the composite. And the first, the solution to the first question was iterator. So we all know about iterator, right? Especially with Java, C++ people.
Yes, there's also
Iterators, yes, we have. So it is a design pattern. It's originally coming from there. But it is very popular, widely used, right? So the solution to the first question is iterator design pattern, to modify the iterator. The second is the composite pattern. Do you know about composite pattern, or is it you know about iterator, but do you know composite? No. But maybe you know about it, but you don't know the name. That's also possible. I don't know. Let's see. So you see, this guy has an array list. So it has items in it, and prices, and very importantly, if it is spicy or not. So we want to know. But this guy choose to use this one, the array. So that is our problem. What shall we do? Okay. So now what I want to do, these are the menus, and I want a different object, a different class, which will give me items from these two menus. This one and this one. I will use the lahmacun menu and the Adana menu, and my other class object will give me these items one by one. When I supply it the Adana menu, without any problems, it will provide me these. When I supply lahmacun menu, the same is true. Okay. What do you think about that? Good. I was afraid, I don't know what's going to come up after this, so I was afraid that the solution will come up. So, but okay, we want to be able to do this. Okay. So we need, of course, definitely we will need for this too. We need some ifs and else somewhere, right? Aha. Here is the implementation. Oh, so this is still the problem. The problem is the ones that are underlining it. So in my current example, in my current situation, after we merge the two shops, they have this problem. They have to have two for loops. One is dealing with the Adana menu, well, lahmacun menu. The other one is dealing with the Adana menu. But differently, of course, because they are keeping their collections are different. In one of them, you need the size. With this one, you need the length. With this, you need get. With this one, you have this brackets. So, well, what I want to be able to use the same for loop to print both of them. So that's how we can do it. That's the question.
For specific to Java, there are some kind of workaround solutions like converting the arrays to an array. But
no, we don't want that. No, we don't want that. Okay, but we don't want that. We don't want to convert it. We just want to be able to. I need to. The solution is I need an iterator which will take care of these things. So what is an iterator, actually? If you know that we are using the existing iterators, right? We don't create a new iterator, don't we? I don't know, in C++ it is the same?
Yes.
There's standard iterators. It's a long time that I don't use C++. I forgot. I'm so happy to get rid of the headers. That was, I don't know how it is anymore. It was, anyway. So what do I need? What is an iterator? What an iterator is, I have two things in an iterator. Iterator is actually a super type. It's an interface, isn't it? What are the two things that I have for an iterator? What do I need?
The type of an object.
No. I have two. When I use an iterator, I use two things.
Has next.
Yes.
Next.
If it has a next, and give me the next. Does it have a next? Yes, it does. Give me true or false. And when I call the next command, give me the next and
Iterate.
point to the next one. So if I call the next again, give me the next one. So that's two things I need to implement. Isn't it? Right. So what do I need to do?
Create an iterator for two.
For two of them, yeah. So if I have a common, like an interface super type, and if I have two iterators specifically for each one of them, just, you know what I mean? I have a super type, has next and next is here. So this is the iterator. And I have specific iterators for both of them. Specific concrete iterators, which are doing these two things. One is specifically for this, one is specifically for that. So they know how to deal with an, this one is working with size and get method, this one is working with length and with this. So specific to those two cases, I have two different concrete classes, but I can use the same iterator name to deal with them, so I don't need to change anything. Is the video still running or? It does, but it is now 27 minutes. Okay, so that means that I have 2 minutes. So, well, I already said this. I mean, that's something that I already. So the question is that, you know, I have iterator 1, I have iterator 2. Because normally with the existing Java, in the existing Java API, I can do this. I can ask. I can tell the LangModule menu, I can have a create iterator within the LangModule menu, and it will be returning an iterator to me, and I can work it like this. So what I have is first an Adana menu iterator. It's implementing the iterator. It has menu items. This is how you construct it. This is how you call the next one. So there is this position. And this is how you ask about if it has a next item or not. So this is how you do it. And for the total implementation, I have my waitress, it's Adana menu and LangModule menu. Okay, and when I say print menu, I'm going to be having Adana iterator and LangModule iterator. So when I say print menu with this LangModule iterator and print menu with Adana iterator, it will come here and print it. So I got rid of 2 for next loops and combined them into a function with the help of 2 iterators, which is actually pointing to the same super type iterator. So that is the solution.